Yo guys, welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel, and today I've got a new segment for you guys. It's called Let's Brief. A brand new segment, and it's all about picking a hot topic that's floating around social media, the world of football or the intersphere, and getting your guys' view on it, and then kind of making a decision by the end of it, and giving my view of it, of course, and then getting your guys' view in the comments. So before we get cracking, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. So this week's first ever Let's Beef topic is Mauro Icardi versus Romelu Lukaku. But first of all, I'd like to put a disclaimer that I hate comparing players usually, but this has been such a burning hot topic, especially for Inter fans, but even non-Inter fans, that I just feel like it had to be done. We know that Icardi and Lukaku are two completely different players with different qualities. They have played in completely different teams, so comparing them is very hard. But as comparisons go, I think this is about as close as you can get really to, quite a fair comparison. Both players are, according to Transfermarkt, exact same transfer market value at the moment of 75 million, and they both had the highest value of 100 million. So what a coincidence right there. Both of them are 26 years old. Both of them centre forwards, of course, and their job is to bang the goals in. So without further ado, let's get cracking on this comparison. And let's start off with the goals. Now, of course, here you're going to say there's not much comparison. Lukaku has a lot more goals compared to Mauro Icardi. But when you look at the numbers on a deeper level, we can see that the numbers are not so far actually. Yes, Lukaku has scored 250 goals now in his career. The other day when he scored against Slavia, he made it to 250. Great number for a 26-year-old, and crazy number really. If you think about it, that averages around 25 goals a season since he's been playing. So he started when he was 16 in Belgium, and yeah, he's just been banging goals in non-stop since then. Mauro Icardi, on the other hand, has 175 goals in 303 matches, which is a lot less matches than Romelu Lukaku. That is mainly due to the fact that Icardi didn't start an elite career as young as Lukaku did. Lukaku was playing with men at 16 years of age, whereas Icardi took a bit longer when he moved to Sampdoria to start playing properly. And then we also have to consider the fact that Lukaku is and has been a mainstay of the Belgium national team for the last 9 or 8 years, whereas Icardi has barely got a look in for Argentina. He only has 10 appearances, whereas Lukaku has over 50 goals for his national team already. In terms of goal scoring ratio, Icardi's is slightly better, which it almost works out as a goal every 2 matches, which is super impressive, whereas Lukaku's is kind of lower than the 0.5 mark, which is still quite impressive, but not as good as Mauro Icardi's. Now, one thing we must say, Lukaku has definitely played for some better teams than Mauro Icardi. Let's not forget, Mauro Icardi has played for very, very average Inter teams, maybe even below average Inter teams. Let's not forget. And then he also should have more caps for Argentina if the world was more of a fair place. But of course, the Argentinian politics within the national team, the alleged Messi rumors and the Maradona influence, who doesn't like Mauro Icardi, and the whole Maxi Lopez drama makes him a disliked character within the Argentina dressing room, reportedly. Whereas Lukaku has been an unchallenged number 9 for Belgium because of this competition is Batshuayi and Christian Benteke, who are far from world class, whereas in Argentina you have Aguero, Messi, Higuain, Tevez. Over the last few years it's been crazy, and of course now Lautaro. Romelu Lukaku also has more assists than Mauro Icardi, but again, similar to the discussion before, he's played in much better teams where the movement is probably a lot better and there's more chances created because they are better, more structured teams, whereas Icardi kind of has not played in such well-organized teams if we go back to the Benta era teams. But anyway, let's have a look at the comments from you guys. As I said, it's been a burning hot topic, and I had over 39 replies to my original tweet, so thank you everyone who interacted with the tweet, but I couldn't include everyone. But I read every single one of them, so a variety of opinions. A lot of people, when I posted a tweet, especially like Ebbs, thought this was going to be, just a Lukaku bashing space, place for people who dislike Icardi to gather and share the dislike. But, in the end, I don't think it was, as we see here from Khalid Al-Arabi, who says Icardi is a big games player who we can count on. And I can't say the same about Big Rom. And I think, Khalid has hit a really good point there that a lot of people talk about when it comes to Romelu Lukaku, is his record against big teams. especially when he was back in the Premier League and also when he plays for Belgium against the bigger teams. There is definitely a problem or an underlying issue there where Lukaku plays against better players that he doesn't score or contribute as much, and that's just a fact. You know, even when he first come to Inter now, the few first big matches that we had against Dortmund, against Slavia Praha, the home match, and against Juventus, he didn't really perform that well. Of course, against Slavia there was also an injury problem that he had to play with. Against Juve and Dortmund we kind of expected a little bit better, and when he didn't perform, you know, people started criticizing that big match flop type thing again. But you know, the other day against Slavia Praha, I think he definitely stepped up with his assist and goal. Another Icardite here, Anthony, you might know him from Twitter, Inter Mafia TO, shout out Toronto. Everyone's gonna hate me, but Icardi is the superior striker. Ignore all the off-field drama. I know who I'm picking. Better touch, better killer instincts, waste less chances. I would have killed him to see in this current Inter squad. Guy would have been breaking records. Anthony, I don't think many people can argue, even people who already hate Icardi can't deny that this guy is a world-class finisher, the absolute killer in the box. And going back to Khalid's previous tweet, when it came to big matches, Mario Icardi always seemed to step up. We only have to look back to the derbies against AC Milan, and especially the one where he scored a hat-trick and put the jersey up like he was Lionel Messi. Unforgettable moments if you're an Inter fan, and all the goals he scored against Juventus as well. And then when we moved up to the Champions League finally, after all those years of the banter era, he scored against PSV, scored against Tottenham in great style, and he showed that, you know, he deserves to be there. And then now when he's at PSG, he's already got 4 goals in 5 games in the Champions League, showing that he belongs at those high levels. Once again, let's not forget the Inter teams that Icardi had to play with. Whereas Lukaku had a good midfield, a proper system behind him, Icardi has had to play through years of the likes of, you know, Taider, Ricky Alvarez, Nagatomo, Jean Mario, Bantam Kandreva, not the current Kandreva, an inconsistent Perisic, and many more. You know, it's so many players that you can mention there compared to the players that we have in the team now. And let's not forget, he won Capocannoniere a few times, top scorer in the league, especially in 2014-15 and the Mancini's Inter, where we used to play with Medel, Felipe Melo, Kondogbia in midfield, and we would win with very narrow score lines, very low creativity, but this guy was still managing to bang goals in with a very high conversion rate. But then to Anthony's point where he says he would have been banging goals in for this current Antonio Conte Inter team, I slightly disagree on that, because I feel like he wouldn't fit in as well as Rom does, because he doesn't do other things as well. So let's go to the other tweets that kind of explain what I'm trying to say here. First up, Cami Anderson, shout out to sempreinter.com. No doubt about Icardi's an elite finisher, but offers very little other than that. Rom has shown that he's the full package. Even when he's not scoring, he sets up goals, and he's brought out a side to Lautaro that we didn't see with Icardi. And then, you know, to that point, it could be also due to the fact that Spalletti wasn't ready to try out Lautaro and Icardi together. But you can definitely say that Icardi always seemed to work better when he was on his own. As Mario Galliano here in his thread afterwards says, Mario Galliano, one of the most biggest Icardi haters over the years. He's very well known in the Inter community. Shout out to Inter worldwide. Inter teams will almost seem to be built around Icardi rather than now. I don't think the team is built to work for Lukaku. In the past, you know, the Cross Inshallah teams, especially Spalletti's teams, and even the teams before, were all designed to, you know, get the ball into the box towards Icardi rather than try to build up like we are doing now. Other pro Lukaku tweets, Adam Runieta, Mr. Cartoonist, says little is said about positive locker room force that Rom is with Esposito, etc. Yeah, I think in general, I think we can all see that he's had a really good effect on and off the pitch, especially you can see on social media and just in general. The guy is a positive effect on everyone else around him. I think he's a very well liked character in the dressing room, which we probably couldn't say the same about Icardi, but you know, this is all speculation at the end of the day. But definitely towards the end, we know that the dressing room was fractured due to Icardi and co and wife behavior off the field. And of course, we also had tweets relating to Icardi's wife, which we can't ignore. Forza Inter Haiti, Mr. Dave, Twitter OG, says comparing compilations of goals they both scored this season would go a long way in answering this question. Yeah, I mean, if you looked at the goals that these two have scored this season, it says the whole story about what type of strikers they are. Whereas Lukaku has scored a variety of goals, from, you know, poacher goals, headed goals, goals from outside the box, beating players with dribbling. All Icardi's goals have been, a one touch or a two touch finish from pretty much the 6-yard box. I don't think he's even shot from near the edge of the box. This guy is just, complete penalty box predator. Barilla23 says Lukaku got the beef, whereas Icardi got no beef. Well, I'm thinking he's talking about the muscle Lukaku has, whereas Icardi, not as much, not as imposing. We saw the way Lukaku bullied his way through the Slavia Praha defense is absolutely beastly. Inter Milan club NW, shout out to Bilal, says Icardi isn't a leader, Lukaku is. Look at the way he rallied the team after Cagliari win, getting team focused, finishing the game without conceding. Icardi was never vocal, maybe because he never truly had the team's respect. Yeah, that's a good point as well. We've questioned Icardi's leadership qualities a lot of times. I'm not sure he should have been captain in the first place, but I think he was just given that captaincy because he was the best player in an average team. But I don't think you can see that he's never been truly captain material in terms of inspiring and really being vocal with his other teammates. But at the same time, I feel like he has led Inter from the front a lot of times. I've seen him, with working hard and chasing every single pass and every single defender a lot of times in big matches, trying to rally the troops. And I think, you don't always have to be vocal to be a leader. I think leading by example is also another good way to lead, and I think that's the way Icardi tries to do it. And of course we have Icardi FC always commenting underneath, Icardi is best captain, he's good leader. Thank you to everyone who tweeted me. Really good interaction, really insightful to see what the Inter fan base thinks of what's going on at the moment. Would have been more interesting to see a broader audience if Man United fans were interacting and other non-Inter fans were interacting, but I think we've got the feel for it. Most of the tweets were of course pro Lukaku, and I think of course there's a recency bias at the moment with Lukaku's form. It's been hitting real heights at the moment, especially that partnership with Lautaro is blossoming, and those goals against Slavia recently of course have made him Inter fans' favourite player at the moment. But I'm going to offer my opinion here just to close up. I think Lukaku is the better striker, and I used to think that even before Lukaku came to Inter, I always thought he was one of the elite strikers, and his numbers proved that. Some of the goals that Inter managed to score this season, such as both of Lautaro's goals against Slavia, Lukaku's goal against Brescia, Sassuolo, AC Milan, and the overall play he brings to this Inter team is just unparalleled. I think this is exactly why Conte brought him in, and I don't think Icardi could bring that. And for me, that just makes him slightly better player in my eyes. I think Mauro Icardi, for me, undoubtedly is the best poacher, best number 9, old school number 9 in the world, and he's just born 10 years too late. I think if he was born in the late 90s, the early 2000s, where strikers were allowed to, not come back and help out the team and support the players and try to create chances and spaces for others, he would be, one of the all-time greats, and I have no doubt saying that. Just in the last match PSG played against Real Madrid, he had the record for this season in terms of the least amount of balls touched, with just 11 times he touched the ball, and that just kind of shows what Icardi is all about. And for that reason, and that is just in my opinion, that makes Lukaku the slightly better player. But let me know your opinion in the comments below. Who is the better striker? Who's the better number 9? Lukaku, Mauro Icardi? And also let me know if you enjoyed this Let's Beef segment. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a like, and that will show me that I should do more of them. Otherwise, comment down below that you don't want to see any more of them. Feedback is always appreciated. That's it from me today, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.